Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. So before we get started, quickly I want to show you guys what's coming next week. We have PPI on Tuesday, and then on top of that, on Wednesday morning we are getting CPI. Now we all know that Friday we actually had that data come out pre-market before opening. Unemployment rate, it was down, so that's not good news for Jay Powell. It's not good news for stock market, and the market went down. So there is going to be lots of volatility next week, especially given the fact that we're getting PPI and CPI, and then you can see lots of Fed speakers. They're also speaking next week, and it's just going to cause lots of volatility in the market, which could be a massive opportunity for us, to make money in this market. On Apple, stock is down 2.41%. So Apple came back all the way down to where, and we talked about it in my video many times, that Apple can make a move and possibly can come down and retest where 237, and possibly under that level, this gap comes into play at 233. And believe me or not, guys, this was a play that we took. Apple puts 225, pretty much here at 255, and we sold right here pretty much exactly on Friday, and then picked up calls at 233 back up to the upside, and that position is green. After selling the puts, we got into calls right here on Apple, and now we're just holding with the stop loss sitting at 233. So you can see, I mean, things can go up but quickly can come down as well. And that is why chasing is never something you want to do here in this market. So going into Monday's session, guys, we need to get over 237. If that happens, that's a successful retest of that breakout, and it's going to continue to move higher, possibly up to 242, 5-day moving average, and bottom of these candles. And over that, you're going to see possibly a move up to 245 to even 250 to close this gap on top. Now, if things are not looking good next week, especially with PPI and CPI, and this thing cannot get over 237, in that case, we might be pulling back all the way down to not only 233, possibly down to even 230. We also have earnings coming up end of this month. So, maybe some good news coming out finally from Apple, and that could, push this stock even higher. But, we got to wait at least 3 more weeks for that earnings to, actually come into play. It's not going to happen right away. So next week we have a lot of data, and Apple definitely, now you can see it's really oversold on daily time frame, and is sitting well below lower Bollinger Band. At least it came down. I mean, it was down like what, $4 below the band, and that's why I took that play. And immediately you can see we closed at pretty much almost 237. So that level has to hold right here going into Monday session. And if you are actually trading this, you got to be just careful and just set your stop loss right here at 233. And if this thing makes a new low, definitely it's going to go down even more. And here's my X account. And if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing here on X is totally free. And you can always ask me a question if you have right here on X. And I'm going to share this fantastic swing trade idea right here in this video, guys. Right here, you can see back in 11/29/2024, took this June 20th, 2025 SPY puts 555 strike. And this was a massive play. You can see right here on Friday, we actually took some profit finally on this play. So this was really nice, and still holding half of my position. And with that being said, I do appreciate all of your support, but especially people that are really serious and looking to trade in real life, in real time, definitely it's worth every penny. Check out their link down below in the description for Patreon, guys. On AMD, it's down 4.76%. And this one, you can see this bear flag pattern. We had the move back up to the upside, and now this bear flag definitely playing out, and it's breaking down below right here, 118. So unless we get over 118 and possibly makes a move up to 120 to close this gap, this thing definitely not heading higher. There will be resistance at 118, 120 gap fill right here, and then 122. If this thing can make it back up over 122, it's going to look a lot more better for this gap to get filled at 126.85. To the downside, now critical support down here at 116, lower Bollinger Band, and below that 110. On Meta, it's up 0.84%, and there was some news with TikTok, and that's why this thing was up on Friday, even though the market was going down. So you can see it's actually holding over rising 5-day moving average. So 615 to 614, that's going to be your key line in the sand here on Meta. Below that, 608, 604, 600, and then 5 and 92.56 50-day moving average. Over 615, it can definitely make a move back up to 632 to even 638. On Amazon stock, it's down 1.44%. So Amazon almost close to this gap. And you can see it came down, like I said before. So that is technically a lower low. And it came down to 216, held the support, lower Bollinger Band also sitting there, went back up and now trading near 219. So this is going to be a key line in the sand, 216, and below that, this gap comes into play right here at 214, and then another gap that can potentially come into play, 208.20. Now, to the upside, if this thing can hold 216 or maybe even gap fill reversal at 214, then watch out for a move back up to the upside. And now there will be resistance at 220 over that 225 20-day moving average, and then we're going back up to 230 on Amazon. On Google, stock is down 1.14%. So Google now, there will be critical support, and that's going to be a line in the sand for Monday's session right here, 189 to 190. You can see right here we held before, and then now we have lower Bollinger Band going up. It's sitting near 189, so that's going to be key level, 190 to 189. Underneath that level, definitely it's going to dump down to this high and the 50-day moving average, 183 to 184, and then this gap comes into play right here at 178. To the upside, now Google will find resistance at 194.23, over that 196, and then 200. When Microsoft is down 1.32%, so Microsoft, we need to talk about it, guys. You can see we came down here, went back up. Again, came down here on Friday, and it's definitely not looking good, especially going into earnings, which is not too far away, end of this month. And if this bear flag were to play out, we all know, I don't want to, measure this bear flag right now. It's too early, but you can see it's massive. If this is going to play out, there's going to be huge dump off. But with earnings, can't say nothing. But as of right now, bottom of this bear flag or this channel definitely getting taken out by Microsoft, which is at 420. We're trading below that. So if Microsoft actually remains under 420, the next level will be down here at 413, and you can see lower Bollinger Band already coming down rapidly. So if this thing gets down to 413, also gives up that support, this thing can go down even more. And for that to happen, we all know that market will take a massive dump off if that's the case right here on Microsoft. So this is a big warning for the market. Big names like Microsoft breaking down from the bear flag, and then big names like Apple also breaking down, and not to mention Nvidia, which we will talk about it in a minute in this video. So watch out going into Monday session. Critical support 413, and then it can go down even more from here, possibly down here, down to these lows, 407 to 408, and then 400. 400 is going to be the critical support below 413. To the upside, resistance will be at 420, over that right here, 428, and then we can talk about possibly going back up to 434.40, and maybe even this gap possibly can get filled right here just below 437. So Netflix down 4.26%, down almost $38 on the day. And you can see we had this double top or rounding top, you can call whatever you want to call it right here. We had this double top. Look, we also have this rounding top. And now this thing took a massive dump off. We gapped down on Friday from 873 and never came back up to close the gap. Went down immediately and not even holding this critical support 842. And you all know that if this thing cannot hold 842, we might be going down pretty much down to flat 800. So it has to make a move going into next week. We also have earnings coming up on the 21st of this month. So Netflix here, your key line in the sand. Now we need to get over that. That's 842. Otherwise, it can go down much, much lower. But also keep that in mind. This is not a mega cap stock. So yes, it's under lower Bollinger Band, which is sitting at 853. It can retrace up to 853, but there is no guarantee that this is going to act like a big mega cap stock. As of right now, 842 has to break to the upside. Only if that breaks, you're going to see Netflix retracing 853, lower Bollinger Band, and possibly going up to 867, 50-day moving average, and then this gap come into play here on top, 873. Below 842, your next stop will be around 800 on Netflix. On Tesla stock is absolutely flat on the day. So Tesla actually came down to where, well, you can look at my screen, almost down to 375. That critical level went back up and now trading at almost 395. And it's pretty much break even for the day. So Tesla unchanged on Friday. What's next? Well, you can see there is a downtrend going on here on Tesla on this daily time frame. If this thing is able to get over 400, then watch out for a move up to 411, maybe after this 13-day moving average 415, and then we can talk about 429. Below 400, critical support down here 375, and then this support right here 362, and then this gap 358 on Tesla. So yes, Tesla likes to run on Monday, but keep that in mind. We also have earnings coming up end of this month here on Tesla. So earnings season is here, guys, and I don't know if we're going to get earnings run up here. If the data is good next week, maybe we get to see a rally back up to the upside. Otherwise, consider some of these gaps getting filled early as next week on Tesla. On Nvidia, stock is down 3%, and we talked about it in my last video that look at this, recent times where Nvidia stock was going up or even coming down. We never actually got this big of a red candle, and now we got one. There has got to be some more follow through, and you cannot ignore this candle. And since then, we got sell off the very next day, once again, nothing big, and then again on Friday, continuation down another $4, 3%, and now it's trading near 136. So going into Monday session, this is your key line in the sand, 136. We remain under 136, next stop 130 and then 126. If this thing can stay over 136, then watch out for 140, and then we're going back up to possibly 144. And this is definitely not looking good as of right now. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated going into Monday.